Well, Ben, over to you. Flag Force, I think, is the subject.
Flag Force indeed, yes. And great to be here, everyone. It's September, back to school, Christmas just round the corner and all of that. And it's been quite amazing, actually, to see the whole flag thing unfold, or unfurl, should I say, over the past few weeks. I'll just tee this up by saying that my grandmother, on the maternal side, my mother's mother was Norwegian. And if you go to Norway, there are flags everywhere, Norwegian flags in every house, every back garden. People wear them on their clothes, on the back of every boat on the river. And I actually see this as a very positive thing. I've quite enjoyed seeing the flags going up around Plymouth over the past few days. I don't think it necessarily has to be this antagonistic and awful thing. You mentioned the roundabouts, but they've been going up in their droves on lampposts and on people's cars and back gardens. This little video here from Lincoln sometime over the weekend. And as I say, I don't think this has to be a particularly negative thing, but we are also seeing the flag become a flashpoint in some ways for racial abuse and also the escalating tensions that we're seeing, even violence happening across the country, coming from both sides, I should say, because actually we've seen people putting flags up being attacked, as well as people flying flags attacking other groups. And I think that this is completely unacceptable. And I guess the question that I have is whether this recent wave of flag raising is an organic outpouring of nationalistic fervour, or if there is a hidden hand operating in the background trying to turn something that's potentially positive into something nefarious. Let's have a little listen to Joseph Moulton, the founder of Flag Force UK, talking to GB News a couple of weeks ago.
It was really kind of accidentally it's kind of blown up the way it has. A few weeks ago, a few friends of ours were kind of looking, seeing what's kind of going on in Birmingham and elsewhere. And we thought, displaying the flags of our local areas. So we had the England flags and the Yorkshire flags. We thought kind of spruce up the area a little bit. We just did one street, didn't think any more of it, until around kind of 10 days ago, we saw on the local Facebook group that everybody loved it and people were asking for more. So we kind of said, well, we've got a bit of a mandate here. And it was kind of really bringing the community together in a way that we don't really see in York. It's fairly quiet in that sense. So we began putting more up. We had a lot of people reach out to us to get involved. And since then, alongside that, we've been doing litter picking, collections for the food bank, and really trying to turn it into a kind of grassroots community organisation that's taking a bit more responsibility in the local area, picking up from the failures of the council and also the national government.
Are you concerned that the civic pride that you're bringing back, putting up these flags, could be opposed by local authorities? Well,
if it is, it'll only galvanise people. I feel like people always want a cause, and the establishment isn't appealing to people. You used to say get involved with the council, but and the council's there if you've got feedback, but you never see them knocking on doors. You don't see them in your local places, rather because they're not welcome, and also they're just completely out of touch with what's going on. So I think all that'll happen is just drive more people to the cause, and it's going to completely backfire on them.
He seems like a nice chap, doesn't he?
He does seem like a nice chap. Question in our chat box is, who does he work for?
Well, that is a very good question, absolutely. So he's talking here about a grassroots movement that has a mandate now, and it's fulfilling an important civic purpose. They're also doing good things like litter picking, helping out with food banks, filling in the gaps of council services, essentially. That's what he's saying is going on here, right? And let's be clear, there are issues with what local councils are doing. Whether this guy's going to step into the breach or not, I don't know. But that was Joseph Moulton. You can see him there talking to GB News, probably the most popular UK news broadcaster. So he's been elevated into quite a significant position, and he runs this organisation, Flag Force, which has basically come out of nowhere in the past month. So their Twitter profile, which we'll put a link to, has now got 18,000 followers. It's only been set up in the past 4 weeks. And this is their website. You can see they're tracking flags put up by local patriots across the country. And there's an invitation to join the UK's premier community network tracking the flag raisings across the nation, discover, document and celebrate the flags that unite our communities. This is essentially an intelligence gathering operation, right? They've got a map you can see here. Which I'm guessing this is a glitch because there's a flag over in Latvia. I'm not into, and a bunch in the North Sea as well. But anyway, they're all over the UK, from York, where he's based, to the Wirral, down in the left-hand side there, Shrewsbury, all over the country. And of course, Joseph Moulton is just a normal fella down the pub, worried about his country, putting up flags. And what this shows is that people are unhappy. But who is he? Where does he come from? Because if we actually look at him, his background, well, first of all, there's not a lot about him online. He's actually very difficult to find out significant historical information about. If we go to his LinkedIn profile, we can see that he is a professional creating and providing tech solutions in emerging markets while also working to shape policy and decision-making, tech, defense, green economy, and supply chain. This is all
a lot of ticks in the box.
A lot of in fourth industrial revolution stuff there, a lot of globalist stuff, to be honest with you. And let's have a little look at his picture. Blimey, that's a big weapon, isn't it? And I don't mean him in the foreground either. And then he's currently working in these two organisations. So this thing called Iberian Group, which is apparently a specialist firm providing tech solutions in defence, green economy and supply chain. Nothing on its website, very little about this organisation. And then the main one, which I found information out about, is this Geo Capita at the top there, which he's also the founder and editor of. And essentially, it says that he consults for several Fortune 500 companies and state actors in the defence and supply chain sectors, while also personally investing in the green economy and drone developments. So this is advanced warfare stuff. Absolutely, as you've just been talking about, Brian, the militarisation of the UK, this guy's sitting right in the mix of it. And it also says that he spent time in over 60 countries, including complex environments such as Ukraine and Libya. And these are the articles that he's publishing on the website. So he's looking at could we see the first nuclear armed resource war, talking about the rise of the Chinese Green Dragon. And Flag Force UK is actually currently promoting what amounts to the Ulsterisation of the country. So this is something that I just picked up from their social media this morning. Mural maxed Ulsterised near future Britain aesthetics. Yeah. Right, so they're promoting what amounts to sectarianism, multi-generational tribal conflicts overseen by a heavy-handed and fully militarised police state with extraordinary powers of surveillance and detention. I think that's what's been happening in Northern Ireland.
For a long time.
And this seems to be the direction of travel that this guy, this organisation who's been put front and centre as being involved in this, wants us to be heading in. And I think this is an extraordinarily dangerous direction for us to be going in. I will note, though, on a positive note, that our multi-ethnic brothers and sisters around the UK have got wise to this. And this is a post from a Birmingham Muslim Facebook group which came up over the weekend, which says, strong reminder to all brothers in this group, do not take down England flags. Do not fight with anyone putting up England flags. If anything, help them. If anything, put them up on Allen Rock Road, Stratford Road, etc. in Birmingham, as this will show unity among the working classes in the UK, white and brown. This is important. This is what we need. This is a great reaction. To carry on, it says this is an astroturfing campaign by Zionist think tanks, certainly a think tank. I don't know if he's a Zionist, but he's in the mix. That seems clear to me, who are unhappy with Palestine flags being flown in the UK. They're pushing for England flags to be hung up and waiting for the video which shows Asians fighting whites over the England flag. Do not fall for it. They want to create a race war using flags as the symbology to rally more racists. Remember, they are itching for a fight over flags to trigger the next riots, obviously leading into the big Zionist nationalist event organised by Tommy Robinson in London coming up on the 13th of September. So read between the lines on this one. Not necessarily a bad thing, but don't let this get dragged in the wrong direction. And I should just finish up by saying thank you to this X account, Get a Grip, Doc Russ Jackson, who did a great piece of research that I've borrowed from, which you should go and have a look at yourself. So yeah, more to come.
Brilliant. Thank you for that, Ben. And of course, the key bit is that everybody should be proud of their national flag. Of course, many of us are not because of what's being done in the name of our country. But the base level, everybody should be proud. And of course, we go to other countries like the US, or Norway, you've just mentioned, people are proud to
Most other countries
fly their national flag. So something very, very devious is happening here, and it clearly seems to be to capture the mood around patriotism and then to use that as the catalyst to create trouble on the streets. And of course, if there's violence on the streets, then the state and all its brutal machinery is the only thing that wins. But I was fascinated there, Ben, that we're talking about that man seemingly pinned against what appears to be a big chunk of the military-industrial complex.